Welcome to Natural Habitat Adventures Daily Dose of Nature. I'm your host, Brooke Mitchell, and today's webinar is Witness the Great Migration in Tanzania, presented by Nat Hab Expedition Leader Promise Shayo. Thank you so much for being here today, Promise. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Brooke, and hello, Jambo, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for joining this session of webinar, Everything You Need to Know About Tanzania Great Migration and the Ngorongoro Crater. I'm actually talking to you from Arusha, and it is really nice weather here. It is nice and beautiful. It has been a really nice day, and we are having a beautiful start of the season. So my name is Promise Shayo. I'm originally from Kilimanjaro. Currently I live here in Arusha. I'm a nature guide and expedition leader for Natural Habitat Adventure with 13 years of experience in tourism industry and 4 years with Natural Habitat Adventure. And today I'm going to be talking and discussing everything you need to know about the trip to Tanzania. Okay, when thinking of coming to Tanzania, probably the first thing that comes up into your mind is the beautiful Ngorongoro Crater. This is actually me on the picture. That's Promise. This is the picture that was taken in Kenya, my very first time in natural habitat uniforms. Okay, so on the next slide here, we have the beautiful wildebeests in the opening plains of Serengeti. And this whole trip is all about Serengeti migration and, of course, seeing all the beautiful animals that we can see out in Africa. All right, so we also have a beautiful picture of the hyena and all the beautiful flamingos. And you can see the rim of the Ngorongoro crater. So basically, these are kind of things that one will think when thinking of making a trip into Tanzania. So before we get into further details about the whole trip, I would like to give you some quick information about the country of Tanzania. So basically, some more elephants in the crater here, and we have the Maasai people that are pretty much like the representatives of everybody else in the country of Tanzania. So Tanzania is largest country in East Africa with a population of about 66.6 million people, and the language spoken in Tanzania is Kiswahili. And in the country, we have about 120 different local tribes, all speaking complete different local languages. We also have a beautiful mountain Kilimanjaro, which is the highest freestanding volcanic mountain in Africa, standing at 19,300 feet above the sea level. And of course, we have so many other mountains like Oldonyo Lengai, Olduvai, and Mount Meru. And also we have the beautiful plains of Serengeti and the Ngorongoro Crater. The Maasai tribe is actually the most popular tribe in the country, and the Chaga tribe, where I'm coming from in Kilimanjaro, is the third largest and most famous just because of Mount Kilimanjaro. Okay, so on this trip, we will visit three different destinations. We have Arusha, which is our first destination. And in Arusha, we're staying at the Ngaresero Mountain Lodge. We also have the Serengeti Central in number 2 and 4. And in Serengeti, we have two stops. We have Natural Habitat East Serengeti Camp, and we are there for 3 nights. And after we fly in the northern Serengeti, after the 3 nights in the east, we fly to northern Serengeti for 3 more nights. Okay, and the very last destination is the Ngorongoro Crater. So the Ngorongoro Crater is within the Ngorongoro Conservation Area, and the crater is one of the most fascinating feature in the area. So just to give you an idea of elevation and weather in these three destinations, Arusha, the city, is basically the result of the Mount Meru, which is the second highest volcanic mountain in the country. And the city is sitting on the southern slopes of Mount Meru, sitting at the elevation of 4,600 feet above the sea level. It is actually a relatively cold city, and the temperature in the morning will be pretty much like around 10 centigrades. And during the day, when the sun is out nice and hot, the temperature can rise up to around 23 centigrades. The Ngorongoro National Park, on the other hand, which is pretty much like around 1 hour away from the city of Arusha, is sitting at the elevation of 3,000 feet above the sea level, and in some places about 6,000 feet above the sea level. You can actually see this is a very warm part of the country, and the temperatures in the morning can be around 13 centigrades. And in Serengeti, we are driving in open vehicles. So you can imagine when the vehicle is moving, it can be even colder. And during the day, when the sun is hot, the temperatures will range in between 30 and 37 centigrades. You know, these are high numbers, especially in the hot season, anytime from July all the way to October. The Ngorongoro Crater, on the other hand, actually on this very last portion of the trip, you'll be hitting some of the very high elevation points, especially when you're driving along the crater rim. You will be sitting at the elevation of around 7,500 meters, and in some places about 8,000 feet above the sea level. And it is also very cold, actually the coldest of all three destinations. In the morning, the temperature can be as low as 6 centigrades, and in the day, especially in the floor of the crater, is pretty much like around 23 centigrades. Okay, now I will tell you more about all these destinations as we go down with our itinerary. Okay, so this is the picture of Ngaresero Lodge, a quick slide, a first place that you will stay in Arusha. And this is our camp in the eastern Serengeti, you know, such a beautiful camp. And you can see the seats and the little fireplace in the front. And this is another picture that was taken in the crater, the beautiful lions and beautiful flowers out there. And this is pretty much the whole view of the Ngorongoro crater. Okay, parking now. So on what to bring on this trip, I have few tips that I think we all need to consider when preparing to pack for this trip. And I think it is very nice that you travel with these soft bags. We have this nut hub bag that is on the bottom left. These ones are called duffel bags. These are actually very soft bags. They're very easy to travel with, and very easy to load them in the plane and also in the back of the Land Cruiser. On the bottom right, we have another example of a bag that you can actually bring on the trip. It's harder underneath and it's got two wheels at the back. And this one you can easily push it around. Again, it is very nice to travel with, nice and easy, and they can easily fit underneath the small aircraft that we're using to fly around in different locations, and also to put them behind the Land Cruiser. And number two, we need to be very conscious with weight because we have weight restriction, and it is between 15 and 20 kilograms per person, and this will include your camera equipment as well. And also, as we can see on my display on top left and top right, we have all put beige color, khaki colors, and we have avoided all the bright colored ones. And this is because we highly recommend you come with any color that blends in perfect with nature, because the bright red, white, black, and blue attract insects, and they can also easily get dirty. So the khaki and the beige color are best, for safari, and you sit nice and comfortable, blends in well. Also, luggage tag is very important. So then it is easy for us to identify your bag. And when you're moving from one destination to another, your expedition leader can easily find your bag and make sure that we got all our bags. And also, when arriving at international airports, it is very easy for our representatives to spot you. Although it helps also very much if you've got like not have gears on, like a t-shirt or a short, then it is very easy for us to remember and to actually see and identify you. And also have a day pack, okay, where you can put all your valuables, things like money, binoculars, cameras, and everything that you're using for safari. All right. So when packing, you definitely need few safari shirts. Can either be long sleeve or short sleeves. Okay. Um, Long sleeves are better because in the morning it's kind of cold, and it will keep you warm. And during the day, when the sun is too hot, you are still protected, once you have the long sleeves. Short sleeves are also better, nice and comfortable. So bring some options and see what fits you. You also need some safari jackets, okay, because we're traveling on open vehicles, and so it can be quite windy, so you need a nice jacket that will keep you warm, and also you need a windbreaker, anything that will stop you from getting cold or getting sick from all the cold wind as the vehicle moves. Although we offer some blankets and hot water bottle in the vehicles as an extra warmth, but it would be nice if you bring something with you. And I will highly recommend the zip up. So it is very easy for you to get it in and get it out when you need to get rid of it during the day when it's hot. You also need some t-shirts, cotton t-shirts. We're sitting right at the equator, so it can be quite warm here. So nice t-shirts to keep yourself comfortable would be nice. Trousers and shorts, and this is for both ladies and men. Um, I will recommend the zip off trousers, the ones that you can actually start the day as a trouser, and later on, as it is warming up, you can get rid of the bottom section and stay with the shorts. So bring few pairs of those. You also need one or two pairs of shoes. There's perfect examples on the pictures I have displayed on bottom left and right, and you can choose one of those with a nice firm sole underneath, and these will actually be nice and comfortable in the morning and walking around. We don't have so many activities that involves walking long distances. Most of our activities involve sitting in the land cruisers doing game drives, but having shoes, closed toe shoes, would be really nice, like for when you're coming out for dinner, walking around camp, and it's comfortable. You also need some sandals or flip-flops. Since you are sitting in the car, anything comfortable for your legs to rest, it will be really nice. Um, you also definitely need your sunblock, sun hat, and sunglasses. Very important. It's very hot here. And also gloves. If you are kind of a person who enjoys to wear gloves, bring gloves as well. Not have neck gaiters. I did not display it on my pictures here, but definitely NatHub will supply you with those. And please remember to bring those with you as well. Plus, like there are some few other options on the picture, and you can choose the branding. There's so many brandings nowadays. And electric adapters, definitely, okay, so that you can charge your equipment, cameras, and phones. And we prefer the adapters that have 3 pins, or famously known as the UK adapters. These ones are common in East Africa, and you can easily charge anywhere, pretty much in our vehicles as well. We have the 3 pin sockets that you can also charge as you move. All right. That is in terms of clothing and the bags and pretty much like everything you need in terms of keeping yourself warm and comfortable here. You also need your essential documents. You need your passport, and your passport must be at least 6 months valid from the day of traveling. You also need your yellow fever, and this is for people that are below 64 years. You also need a visa to get into the country, okay? And nowadays, very easy. You can go online and apply the e-visa. And if you're encountering any problems, you can actually contact one of the NatHub representatives and they can actually help you with that. And do not forget your medications, any sort of medications that you're on. Please remember to pack them with you as well, plus your anti-malaria pills as well. So the little NatHub pouch that is displaying right now is a perfect pouch for you to keep your essential documents. So this little pouch can actually hold your passport, your yellow fever documentation, and any other documents that you think must stay very close to you. And you can wear it around your neck, or it can easily fit inside your backpack. Right. After your parking, you then fly and land at the Kilimanjaro International Airport. This is our small international airport actually in the northern part of the country. And it is very easy to navigate around. And once you land at Kilimanjaro International, you will meet one of our NatHub representative, um, Nai, the lady you see on the picture there, and she'll be on NatHub uniforms and she'll be waiting to welcome you all. So Nai will definitely assist you through all the airport procedures, and she will help you identify the bags, and she will also take care of any issues if someone happens to arrive without their luggages. So Nai, together with our driver, will actually assist you, getting your bags and accompany you to where our transfer vehicles will be. So we're using the Toyota minivans for our um, airport hotel transfers, and it is a very nice, comfortable minibus. And inside you have air conditioning that is perfectly functioning. You have seat belts. It's important to put on your seat belt to be nice and safe. And we also provide you with some refreshments, some water, snacks, and a drive from Kilimanjaro International Airport to Ngaresero Mountain Lodge is roughly 1 hour. Okay, and this is now the Ngaresero Mountain Lodge, and this is pretty much the picture from the front. This is the main building, and many of our travelers actually arrives at night. So you basically drive to Ngaresero Mountain Lodge to overnight. Okay, and the next morning, for those who arrives a day before the main trip, some can actually choose to pre-book a day trip in Arusha National Park, which is 30 minutes away from the lodge. And some people can choose to stay in the lodge. Okay, so in Arusha National Park, basically it is a place to see small groups of buffaloes and zebras and baboons and monkeys. It is a little teaser, to keep yourself busy and get yourself ready before the main trip. And at Ngaresero, for those who will actually choose to stay in the hotel, you can have a beautiful opportunity around the hotel to take some pictures, and you can enjoy to do some relaxing activities like having a nice massage or enjoying the swimming pool, which is this one. All right. And so the Ngaresero Mountain Lodge is actually located in a kind of a small little forest, on the slopes of Mount Meru, and the lodge has been adopted pretty much from the old German farmhouse, and they have transformed it to a beautiful lodge, and they've got some really nice rooms. If we could go back here, this is pretty much an idea of how the rooms looks like in Garicero, and this is the front section of the room. You have a really nice little sofas and chairs and a little table, and you have a nice bed inside with a mosquito net. Okay, so the beds can be actually put into your preferences. It can either be the single or the double, twins and triples. You know, it depends on how you prefer the rooms to be set. And so for those who will stay around the camp can actually enjoy to sleep around and get ready for the activities on the main day. And it is in Garecero and this particular day when you will meet with your expedition leader plus other travelers as well that will come with you on the trip. So basically, you will meet your expedition leader for the welcome briefing and the welcome dinner, plus meeting everybody else and make plans for the trip coming ahead. And most of the time, our briefing will start around 6:30, and it is for around 45 minutes. So pretty much from 6:30 and about 7:15, you're done with the welcome briefing and ready to sit down for dinner. So your expedition leader will actually make plans on what time to meet and what location he would like to meet you all for a welcome presentation and also to learn about the trip. All right, so in Garicero, in the rooms, you also have um, um, everything you need inside, actually. You have the sink, you have flushing toilets, you also have a beautiful dryer that you can use for those who would want to actually do their hair before getting into the Serengeti bush camps. And if there's anything that you can do pretty much like that you cannot do in the bush, like using the Wi-Fi, sending emails to your family, they also have a very strong Wi-Fi connection that you can actually do to talk to your families and friends back at home before going into the Serengeti. So then you will actually sleep again, and your expedition leader will give you all the instructions needed for the next day. So basically, the next morning, you're ready to go to Serengeti. And here, this is the little canoe in Garicero. There's a little river right in front of the lodge that you can go in this canoe and just enjoy around. And here is our Arusha airport. And this is the airport we use when we are flying to the Serengeti. And so it is a morning flight, and your trip expedition leader will advise you on the timings, okay, on what time to get up and a time to have breakfast, and when he will need everybody to be ready to actually get in the van and ready to go to Arusha Airport for your flight to Serengeti. So from Garisero Mountain Lodge to Arusha Airport is about an hour, and our flight to Serengeti leaves anytime around 8:15 to 9 o'clock. So it's a morning flight. And in Tanzania, we're using regional air, and here we have a picture of a Cessna Caravan. So basically, these are the small planes we can use for about 13 people inside, and you have two pilots in the inside flying the aircraft. So Nai again and your expedition leader will help you with all the check-ins at Arusha Airport. Plus, they will show you a nice place. There's a nice lounge to actually sit down and wait for your time to fly out. There is also some toilet facilities at the airport that you can use before your flight to Serengeti. There was also some coffee shops, okay? And there are also some curio shops that you can go around and check for some stuffs if you want to buy some presents for those who are back at home. All right, so here we have another picture of this Dash 8 or Dash 7 plane. So sometimes we fly with the small ones, and sometimes they give us these big ones. The small ones are for 13 people, and the big ones are for around 23 to 35 people. If you fly on a Cessna Caravan, it will take you about 1 hour to arrive to Serengeti. And if you fly into one of these big ones, it is pretty much like around 35 minutes. You know, the reason why we say you should bring soft bags is because you can actually see a little section underneath the plane with an open door on a compartment. It is where they fit all the luggages. And so it is very important that we remember to bring our soft bags, because that's the little place where we need to put all of our bags. And if you bring any hard shell bag, it will be a bit of a problem. All right. So out of Arusha Airport, flying to Serengeti, it is actually a very beautiful flight. And here you have an opportunity to see the rest of Arusha from air. You can actually see a beautiful Mount Meru, and all the beautiful coffee plantations out of Arusha, and all the green landscapes as you're leaving the city. You can also see the eastern side of the Great Rift Valley. And before you get into Serengeti, you might get an opportunity to see Oldonyo Lengai Mountain, which is an active volcanic mountain we have in the country. All right. So you fly for either 1 hour if you're in the Cessna, or 35 minutes with the big planes, and you arrive in Seronera airstrip in Serengeti National Park. Now you're basically in the Serengeti National Park. So Seronera is a dirt airstrip. It's actually a small airstrip, but it's quite a busy place. Okay, so many camps are using the Seronera airstrip, and upon arrival, you might see a lot of other land cruisers from different camps. So upon arrival, again, we will meet with our team, with our guides. Here we have a picture of our expert guides in Serengeti. We have Manga standing on the left and Issa standing on the right. Okay, and these guys, they will come with some refreshments, and anything like tea, coffees, snacks, juices, and also drinking water and some snacks. So they will also assist you with all the bags, and your expedition leader will take a responsibility to make sure that all the bags leaves the aircraft and packed in one of the airport trolleys and transferred to your vehicle. And you don't need to worry about your bags, because once you're with us, we take a very good care of you. We make sure that no one loses its bag. The only thing you will need to hold on to is your day pack and anything valuable. But all the check-in bags, your expedition leader, with the help of the team, will take care of that. All right. So the Serengeti National Park is one of the largest national park we have in the northern Tanzania, and it is about 14,700 kilometers square. The park is well known for its large groups of animals, especially the wildebeest migration. And here we're talking about 1.5 to 1.7 million wildebeest running across the plains of Serengeti to get to Masai Mara, and this is the annual movement. Okay, and also about 400,000 zebras and a few thousand gazelles and elands. And in the Serengeti, of course, you have a big chance to see the big fives, okay, of the lions, leopard, cheetahs, elephant, buffaloes, and black rhinos as well. We also have so many other species of animals and beautiful birds. It is such an amazing place where, safari can actually be fantastic and give you such an amazing experience. So here in Seronera, we will not spend a very long time since we don't want to actually sit in all this craziness of everybody else. We will quickly have our coffees, teas, and juices, and we will also do a bit of paperwork to get all the permits ready to go for the game drive. So the Land Cruiser you see in front of you is pretty much like the vehicles we will use for game drives. And over here we have this beautiful picture with Manga and his team, out in the plains of Serengeti, and looks like they were looking at something beautiful. So inside the van, we pretty much have 3 rows of seats, and each row provide you with a completely different view. So your expedition leader will actually help you to move people and change position, change seats so that everybody gets to enjoy the advantage of each row. We also have steps that you can easily get in and out of the vehicle. And we have books, animal books, flower books, and bird books. We also provide you with binoculars. We have pretty much like 2 binoculars for each vehicle. And we also have some blankets to keep yourself warm, especially in the morning, and some hot water bottles as well. And at the back seat, in between the 2 seats at the back, we have a fridge. And here's where we will put all the snacks and also all the refreshments, the sodas, juices, water, wines, and anything that the group might need for drinking. We also have some rain jackets in the car. Sometimes we're driving around and the rain drops, and we have some jackets to make sure that we all stay nice and comfortable inside. We also have the sides, the canvas sides, as you can see, that we can actually put down, and they have this little plastic that you can actually use to still have a beautiful view of the animals outside. And this, it will only be in case of the heavy rain, but otherwise the site stays up so that everybody can have a beautiful view of the animals outside. We also have charging ports inside the vehicle. You only need to ask your expedition leader or the guide to put it on, and you'll be ready to charge your camera or your phone. We have some bug sprays in the vehicles as well, especially when we get into some places where we have a lot of flies, and you need to use the sprays to actually stay away from all the flies as well. You can use the spray. All right. So from the Seronera airstrip to our camp in the east, this is our Nat Hub East Camp. Okay. It is 2 hours from the airstrip, and our camp is actually allocated a bit away from everyone else. And this is because we want to stay away from all the traffic. And once we find a beautiful site of animals, we don't have so many land cruisers around, because we want to actually enjoy these animals nice and quiet and enjoy to see them performing their everyday activities in their natural habitats. All right. So actually, as you land at Seronera, the adventure begins. So your expedition leader will give you time to actually sort yourself and get ready for game drive. Have those binoculars, cameras, and phones, and every gadget that you think you might need for a game drive. Get them ready, and then you are ready for adventure. So basically, as you're driving to go to camp for 2 hours, you will definitely see some cool animals, okay? And again, all the elephant, buffaloes, and lions, and different groups of gazelles, it is pretty much expected to be seen. And here is pretty much the lounge, which is in the main area, and nice sofas to sit around. And we also have a toilet on the right there at the main area. So for when you're in the main area, you do not actually have to go back to your room for the toilet. We have that little toilet on the right section there where you can actually use for when you are around the main place. And the view of the main area is actually looking out into the rock copies. These boulders of granite rocks. They are famously known as copies, and this is the place where you can sometimes view animals like baboons and monkeys. And several times I've seen lions and leopards sitting on top of those rocks as well. And this is because during the day, the rocks keeps all the heat from the sun, and when the temperature drops, the rock stays nice and warm, so all these animals would enjoy the warmth of these rocks, okay, when the night is coming. So basically we have a nice place to lounge around, and at the back you can see that gentleman standing next to that little bar setting. Okay, it is a wooden bar with everything you need inside. Okay, and it is in the main area again where we have our little dining table. You can see the picture on the top right. Okay, beautiful dinner settings pretty much, and some lovely wines and some more alcohol in the wooden thing at the back. In this camp, which is our seasonal camp actually, we have a bit of a Wi-Fi connection, not very strong, but it is there. It is not something that you should be waiting to jump on it. It is only there for some office purposes. But should you need to actually get yourself connected to send pictures or to communicate with your lovely ones back at home, you are also allowed to do so. So when you arrive in the camp, you will actually be met with our camp crew, and they will arrive with some juices, face towels, and sometimes they will perform one of the local dances to welcome you. It's an African traditional, rather Tanzanian traditional. When someone comes into your place, you welcome them in by greeting them, shake hands, and if you can do a bit of a song. All right. So at the dining place is where all the meals will be set, and sometimes we put meals outside as well, and that will so much depend on the weather, but otherwise all the meals stays inside. And when you go out with a game on a game drive, your expedition leader might organize to have one of the either bush breakfast or bush lunches outside. Okay, and okay, there's a beautiful dinner table there. And this is our rooms. So basically, the camp is all run under solar, and inside you have enough lights, okay, for you to see everything. You have two lights on each side of the bed, and there are more lights on top, and there are two lights at the back, like right behind the bed, next to the mirror. And also you have one light in the toilet and one light in the bathroom. So each tent has a beautiful, beautiful view of the Serengeti plains, and the tents are not very close to each other. So there is at least about 3 to 4 meters from each camp, and this is to maintain privacy of everyone in the tents. Okay, so this is pretty much the view you will have from your tent. And if you look on the far left of the picture, you can see that beautiful giraffe looking away, and you have those two seats outside over there. So like during the day when it is not dark, okay, you can actually sit outside, and there's a little table, and you can ask for a drink or tea and coffee, anything of your preference, and sit there, and using your binocular, you can enjoy the view. So many times we have animals coming around, mostly the herbivores. So giraffes, buffaloes, impalas, waterbucks, and every now and then you have troops of monkeys and baboons. All right. And over here, it is more pictures of the inside of your tent. All right. On the very top, we have a picture that actually shows you a little wooden stand on both sides where you can put your bags. If there's two people inside and everyone has a place to hang their cloth, a little wooden place to put your bag, and a wardrobe to actually put your things in. And at the far back, you have that little sink with a mirror, and you have a sink for washing. You also have bathrooms. Okay, on the left is the shower, and on the right is the toilet. And these are actually flashing toilets. Okay, the shower are all bucket shower. So your expedition leader will actually tell you on how you need to put your order for the shower, and our camp crews are very good at reacting very quickly to actually bring you some hot water for your shower. And the bucket at the back can actually hold about 20 to 30 liters of water. It is pretty much enough for one person. And should you need some more, we have a radio that you can quickly radio in, and in 5 minutes, you will get some more water in your bucket. On the bottom left is pretty much a picture of the two water bottles inside, and on the right, on that little wooden table thing, is a green bottle that will have hot water for you to use to brush your teeth and wash your face. So we highly recommend that you do not drink any water from the tap because it might give you an upset stomach. So we provide you with mineral water for brushing your teeth and also for washing your face. And the two flasks on the left is for your drinking water, all right? And they will refill the water bottles every day to make sure that you have enough water to drink inside. You also have this, actually, before that, there's a wooden box that is displayed on the picture that is on your bottom right. There's a wooden box that is open in the inside of the tent, and that box will have some snacks inside. And when you're going out on a game drive, they'll put some biscuits or cookies for when you arrive, you have something to bite on. And in the morning, when they bring you wake up calls, they will put it outside in that little table. So sometimes you have to go out early in the morning. You know, it will depend on how your expedition leader wants to do the activities around. If you do the early morning drive, the team will actually bring you a nice tea or coffee to wake you up and get yourself ready for the day. All right. Having that said, um, we have pretty much like three different kind of activities that can be done. Okay, most of our activities involve sitting in the land cruisers, going out to find animals. And you can either do an early morning game drive, which pretty much involves leaving camp around 6. So if you do early morning game drive, you will have a small continental breakfast in camp, you know, some fruits and some cereals, and you'll have a nice breakfast out there under a beautiful acacia tree with a beautiful view of Serengeti or something like that. You can also choose to do a full game drive, and this will involve having breakfast in camp and then leave after breakfast and stay out for the whole day and have lunch out there in the plain. And this is the perfect example of beautiful setting, lunch out. These people went out on a full day game drive, and this was now a stop for lunch. Okay. And we also have evening game drives. This is pretty much involves driving around in your local area for 2 hours. And most of our evening game drive end up by a beautiful sundowner spot. So for everyone who is taking these 10-day trips into Tanzania, you will have pretty much like around 3 to 4 meals outside, properly set outside with silverware. And as you can see, it's nice and comfortable in a very safe place. And we also provide you with some drinks when we set these kind of tables outside. Okay, so in the Eastern Camp, we have 3 nights, all right? And here are some pictures of kind of animals that you can see out on game drive. We have these beautiful elephants having fun. Okay. We have a beautiful, beautiful leopard. Serengeti East, it's an amazing, amazing place to see cats. Okay. Especially very close to our camp. We have some really beautiful trees, and there's a creek which is pretty much like around 15 minutes away from our camp. And this place, it is such an amazing place for leopards to breed. So many times when we go out, we find these beautiful cats out there. This picture was actually taken right outside our camp. Okay, and I was talking about the rock copies. This is an example of how sometimes you might see these big cats sitting on the rocks. This picture was in the evening driving back to camp, and you can see these 2 lionesses sitting there scanning the open plains of Serengeti, nice and comfortable. We have a very relaxed animals, and since our area is not very polluted with all other land cruisers, our animals are actually really, really comfortable, and they stay close to the vehicles. Okay, and here we have a beautiful family of cheetahs. We have a mama cheetah with her 4 little cubs, and you can actually see this picture was taken right after they had eaten a Thompson gazelle. You can see those little red noses, as they were digging in right inside the Thompson gazelle. So pretty much, you have 3 beautiful nights here, enjoying the beautiful plains, seeing all sorts of things, and having fun, taking pictures, and learning everything you need to do to know about the Serengeti Central and Serengeti East. So basically, from around June all the way to October, in this part of the Serengeti, you cannot see the migration because by then the migration has moved far north. Okay, so basically you are here to see all these beautiful cats, elephant, buffaloes, and so many other things that you can see out in the plain. And after 3 nights here, then we go to our northern camp, which is a Nat Hub migration camp. And so this picture was taken right outside the camp, and that's me standing there with happy people. All right. And so um, from the Serengeti East camp, we will drive again back to Seronera airstrip. And from Seronera, you will enter the plane and fly for 15 minutes to get to northern Serengeti in a place called Lamai. So basically, the Serengeti North is a huge area, and then we have the Mara River that cut through and separates this small place called Lamai from the rest of Serengeti. So basically, Lamai is part of the Serengeti, but it is sitting on the northern part of the Mara River. So the Lamai, it is a very, very special place. It is a place with very few camps, and not so many people visit this place. And in Lamai, we have a great advantage to be very close to the Mara River. So our camp is pretty much like around 6 minutes to the river, where all the action of wildebeest crossing and all the action of hippos and crocodiles happens. Okay, so Lamai, it is a relatively small area of about 500 square kilometers, and It is unlike the Serengeti East, where you would see a lot of rock copies. Lamai is pretty much very flat, and it is in Lamai that you can actually see the wildebeest migration going across the Mara River. And of course, you have a great opportunity to see all the big cats like lions and cheetahs and leopards and huge groups of buffaloes, elephants, and beautiful birds, especially the vultures. Okay, so the vultures actually fly and follow the migrations. So there's so many animals that are following the patterns of the great wildebeest migration, and it is a long distance, and they get to the northern part of the Serengeti before crossing to get to Masai Mara. They're tired, and so sometimes some of them drop dead. And in this area, there's also a huge population of hyenas. So once the migration arrives here, the hyenas will be having fun going after the wildebeests. And so here you can see a lot of dead bodies. So for those who enjoy seeing vultures and hyena, seeing animals in action, seeing leopards going after baby wildebeest, seeing prides of lions going after wildebeest, this is an area for action. And it's pretty much from around July all the way to October. Okay, so in Lamai, we have another beautiful camp. So from the airstrip to Lamai is 2 hours. When you arrive in Lamai, you will meet another group of our representatives, two more guides on this section. And a drive from Lamai to the camp is 2 hours. And of course, it is a great opportunity to drive through the plains of Serengeti to enjoy all the beautiful scenery and all the animals that are roaming around the plains of Serengeti. So here in our migration camp, this camp actually moves twice a year. So this camp is set for moving around. So everything inside the camp is actually can be folded and be packed behind the trucks and be moved to a different place. So this camp is in the northern Serengeti from June to October, and then we close everything down and move everything to South Serengeti. And so for everyone who is traveling to come to Tanzania around December, January, and February time, you will actually have this camp in the southern part of Serengeti, because by then the migration, the groups will be on that side of the park. So basically, for everyone who will go into the southern part of Serengeti, it will mainly be seeing the wildebeest running in thick columns in the opening plains of Serengeti South and Dutu area. Is also a very, very beautiful place. And for July to October, it is mainly for the migration, to see the crossing of the river, to see actions with crocodiles, and to see action out in the plain with all the cats. Okay, so here we have two different tents, and the tent on the left is actually the lounging area. There are some nice sofas inside to sit, and also a bar. There's a nice wooden bar inside with all the drinks. And on the right, we have another tent, which is pretty much the dining area, and all the meals are set inside there. One of the things that you need to bear when going to enjoy the wildebeest is all the flies that comes with the wildebeest. So that's why we have these special tents for all our meals. So if the wildebeest are around camp, we will then take all the sides down and zip ourselves inside so that we can enjoy our meals without any flies. All right. And so when you arrive, you will meet these happy people here. And this is our team in NatHub Migration Camp. And they will welcome you in with some refreshments, face towels, and of course, you will meet the manager to tell you everything you need to know about the camp. And pretty much like in the previous camp, we have nice places to sit. And as you can see, this tent is nice and open. You can have a beautiful view of the plains of Serengeti and enjoy all the hills around the Lamai Wedge. The Lamai is actually bordering the Masai Mara in Kenya, so you can actually see the Masai Mara in the distance. We are actually around 15 minutes to the international border to Kenya. So this is a place to just hang out and read a book or check on your pictures. And in this particular area also we have a charging station where you can also plug in your gadgets if you don't want to charge them inside your tent. And as you're enjoying and exchanging stories with other travelers sitting around here. And this is pretty much the view of the tent from outside. You have those two safari chairs in the outside there, which you can actually use to sit around during the day when it is not dark. At night, we all must be inside, okay? And inside the tent here, you can see on the bottom right, we have a picture with a nice comfortable bed inside. And again, the crews can actually put the beds according to your liking, you know, the twins, the doubles and triples, like that. And on the bottom left, there's a beautiful view of that sunset going down. Okay, it's really nice, and this you can actually enjoy from your comfort of your tent, sitting outside there on that little safari chair. And you can see this guy was actually enjoying a coffee. Is really nice. And on the top right, it's an example of how they will come and provide you with a service. It depends on what you ask, actually. It can be a nice tea and coffee in the evening or a wake up call in the morning, and it will come on that little tray. You'll have a nice little French press to actually brew your coffee at your liking. And also, you have some cookies. And depending on whether you take a black coffee or white coffee, they will bring you some milk as well. All right. And yeah, so again, pretty much like how it was in the previous camp, here we have a bucket shower. We also have a nice flushing toilet. Okay, they're in separate rooms. Okay, and in front of each room, you have a nice cover that will actually keep yourself nice and comfortable inside. And behind your tent is the bucket shower, where you can actually ask for a bucket of water for when you need to shower. Our crews are very fast. We have a boiler that can actually boil a lot and a lot of water. So, like when you're there, the bucket shower is actually quite an experience. Please enjoy that when you're there. All right. Here's a beautiful picture of how people would go out there to enjoy a drink after a game drive. And you can actually see there were some snacks and everybody is holding a glass after a very nice day of viewing the migration and seeing all the big beautiful animals out in the plains of Serengeti. So basically we are here in migration camp for another 3 nights. Okay, and activities in this area, again, it is pretty much like how it was in the previous camp. Early morning drives, breakfast out, or you can choose to do a full day game drive, breakfast in camp, and then have lunch out in the plains of Lamai Wedge. Or you can do an evening drive where you will end up at the sundown place, pretty much like how you see these guys enjoying the drinks over here. Okay, it's another beautiful picture of our dining spot. And sometimes we put a nice bush breakfast out, and this is a perfect example of how they will display things. You can see you have different selection of cheeses and different salads and bread, bacon and sausages, and some fruits as well. So sometimes when you're leaving early in the morning, we don't want to prepare more egg and bacon sandwiches. You can actually have a continental breakfast in camp, and then you're ready to go, depending on how your trip leader will advise you. And then we will prepare something, we will prepare breakfast somewhere close to the area you're going to be game driving, and pretty much to have a nice experience of having a bush breakfast out. Right, so like when you're out in the plains of Lamai, you will enjoy these kind of beautiful animals. We have this female lioness on the left, and we have a beautiful male lion on the right, okay, with a beautiful, beautiful background. It's a healthy looking lion, and there's a female sitting next to him on the left. You cannot really see it properly, but there's a female right next to him. It was a mating couple in Lamai. And yeah, this is the great wildebeest migration. And here we have this huge group of wildebeest and zebras crossing the Mara River. So in some spots of where the wildebeest are crossing can be quite rocky. And that's when you get to see all the dramatic jumps and all the adrenaline pushing all these animals to cross the river to get to the other side. And here it's another picture. This is actually crossing number 4. All the crossings have been given numbers. So we have from number 0 to number 10. And this picture was actually taken at crossing number 4. And you can actually imagine this picture was taken using an iPhone. Okay, so for those who travel with big cameras, this is the area where you want to capture some really nice snaps of the wildebeest migrations. And if you're very lucky, you can actually see some actions of crocodiles, and it's very dramatic. So sometimes the wildebeest will cross during the time when the river is flooded. As you can see, there's a nice S shape that the wildebeest have created. You know, you can check the section where they enter the river from, and where they're in the river, how the currents are washing them down, and they try and push themselves up again, and they exit on a different area. So these are kind of a dramatic actions that you can actually see during the time when you're watching the wildebeest crossings. And it is just an amazing show that you can actually experience on nature. And talking of the jumpings, this is one of my favorite picture of this big male wildebeest ready to cross the river to get to the other side. And it's like, I'm not thinking about it, I'm just going. All right, these animals travel long distances to get to the northern part of Serengeti for two big reasons: good quality water to drink and green, nutritious food to eat. All right. And of course, after enjoying all those beautiful and dramatic actions with the wildebeest, and after the 3 days in our northern camp, we will then drive back to Lamai airstrip, and we will catch another flight, and we will fly to Lake Manyara airstrip. Okay, when we arrive at Lake Manyara airstrip, we will meet with another group of Nat Hub guides, and now with closed vehicles. All right. Okay, in the two first camps we were using the open vehicles, but here we're using the closed vehicle, and this is because we are actually traveling through town and through villages to get to the Ngorongoro Crater. All right. So here we have Mr. Emmanuel and we have Mr. Shaban on the right. Okay. These are our two experts on our section in the Ngorongoro side. Okay. So flying out of Lamai to Lake Manyara airstrip is basically around 30 to 40 minutes. Okay. And you have another great opportunity to fly over the Ngorongoro Highlands, and you can also see the Ngorongoro Crater itself, and eventually land at Lake Manyara airstrip. The Lake Manyara airstrip is actually sitting right on top of the Rift Valley. Actually, the airstrip is the Rift Valley. All right. So you'll be sitting quite high in elevation in this section. Okay. And so you'll arrive there, and these guys again will assist you with all the bags. And we have some toilet facilities here, because from here we're going to drive to a primary school to visit a primary school. So it is advised that you actually quickly visit the happy rooms, as how I like to call them, the happy rooms, the toilets, before starting the trip to the school. So basically, um, it is around 45 minutes from Lake Manyara to Gegumulambo Primary School. Okay, this is the government primary school that NatHub supports. Okay, and one might ask why we are supporting government schools. So we have in Tanzania both private schools and government schools. Private schools are privately owned, and they're in a very, very good condition, and they're extremely expensive. And of course, they have better teachers than the primary schools, the government schools. The government schools poorly funded and not necessarily in a very good shape, and not necessarily with very good teachers. And this is because education in Tanzania is free. So we have chosen to support the government primary schools, because we want to support these little poor kids that are going to these schools with no school supplies. So we are actually going to visit the school so that we can spend some times with the students. And also it is one way of us to actually enjoy the culture of people in Tanzania. So you will have pretty much like 1 hour in Gegu Mulambo Primary School, and learning everything about the Tanzania education system. And we will get to also visit all the projects that NatHub have done for the school. So we have built a nice modern kitchen for this school, and you can actually see the kids are nice and happy here. Most of them actually don't know my name. They call me Uncle Rasta because of the dreadlocks. And so we have built a nice modern kitchen for them, and we have also built a nice well to actually collect rainwater, so that the students can have nice water for cooking and drinking throughout the year. And we have also support the school on different renovations to fix the classes and fix the desks. And also we support them with all the school supplies as well. Okay, so it's a great opportunity for you to spend some times with these lovely kids. As you can see, they are very welcoming, they smile, and when you're walking around school, they'll be waving at you. Here is a perfect example of how happy they are to see you. So it is not an ordinary visit, okay? So these kids looking at us, going to visit them, it is actually a huge motivation to them. They learn from us. They want to see all the pictures of animals we've seen on safari, and they want to have a conversation with us. English can be a barrier sometimes, but that's the best part of it. Okay, they want to communicate and tell you stories, show you their textbooks and everything. So it's just a perfect thing. Okay, it's a perfect experience to actually enjoy with these kids. And after 1 hour in school, we'll drive for 45 minutes to get to the plantation lodge. Okay, so the plantation lodge, it's kind of luxurious farmhouse, or luxurious farm lodge, which is located few kilometers away from the main Ngorongoro conservation area. It is sitting in a very nice green environment with a very nice cool breeze, and you can have a beautiful view of this beautiful village of Karatu. So Karatu is a village where the hotel is, and you'll be driving through local villages to get into the to the lodge. And it is again a great opportunity for you to see the housing of how people build their houses here, how people dress, in a normal day. And it is such an experience to actually connect with the culture of the people of Tanzania. Right, these are the rooms in Plantation Lodge. Again, they have some really, really nice rooms. It's a kind of a luxury lodge. And you have mosquito nets so that you're nice and safe from the mosquitoes. And on the top right, we have those little tables and chairs where you can sit out and enjoy a drink. And from that point of view, you can actually see the rim of the Ngorongoro Crater. So it's such a beautiful view. And all the meals pretty much inside because at night is very cold. And so we want to stay inside nice and warm. As you can see on the left, we have a nice little fireplace, and they have some nice candles around, and they make the tables really nice, and the food is really amazing here. Okay, they also have a little bar, which is now looking really, really nice. And yeah, here's the place where you can actually sit around with your expedition leader, enjoying a drink and exchanging stories about how the trip was in Serengeti and making plans for the next day. All right, some more pictures here on the top left. Sometimes we have a little section next to the swimming pool where they can actually set a table for dinner, especially if you have good weather, if it is not super cold and if it is not very windy. And on the bottom right is the wine cellar. Okay, they have this beautiful wine cellar. You can actually visit and check all the different kind of wines they have around. They have quite a collection of wines here. All right, this is the swimming pool. Okay, when you arrive, because you will arrive at the Plantation Lodge for lunch, you will actually enjoy sitting around waiting for the next day to go to the Ngorongoro Crater, and you can actually choose to have little walks around, or you can have some times in the pool. It is not a heated pool, but the temperature during the day is actually very pleasant, so you can enjoy dipping yourself in the pool. And here is a beautiful view of the animals in the Ngorongoro Crater. So basically, this is a very last destination in the trip. Okay, so this caldera is inside the Ngorongoro Conservation Area. And pretty much the Ngorongoro crater is the main feature of the Ngorongoro Conservation Area. And the caldera was formed as a result of a large eruption that happened about 2 to 3 million years ago. It was a huge volcanic mountain that erupted and collapsed inside itself. All right. And so technically it's not a crater, but rather a caldera. All right. And so the caldera is pretty much around 2,000 feet deep, okay? And the floor of the caldera is around 260 square kilometers, pretty much like around 100 square miles. So when driving around the crater rim to get to the actual main entrance to get into the crater, you will drive through the Maasai villages. Okay, one of the most amazing thing to see in the Ngorongoro crater is these beautiful villages of the Maasai people, and you can see them on the road as you're driving to the crater in their red shukas, and you can also see their little houses, as they call them, bomas, and you can see the little kids going to school early in the morning wearing the tire shoes. And it is just an amazing experience because this is the only place in Africa where wild animals and people coexist together in harmony. Okay. And so it is such an amazing experience to see a glimpse of the culture of the Maasai people as you're driving into the Ngorongoro crater. So basically, when this eruption happened, there were so many other caldera that were formed along with when the volcanic activities were happening in the Ngorongoro highlands. But other eruptions that formed other calderas we have in the Ngorongoro highlands were a bit smaller in magnitude and impact. And so we also have some other small calderas like the Olmoti and Empakai caldera, which you can actually see from the air as you're flying into Lake Manyara National Park. All right. And then, so basically, in the crater, you have a great opportunity to see huge and huge groups of wildebeest, zebras, buffaloes, elephants, all congregated together. It is actually a very small place, and it gives you a huge volume of animals in one area. And as you can see, it is a nice and green place. There are some really nice watering places where these animals can actually go and drink. And you can also see the beautiful flamingos in one of the lakes. We have a Lake Magadi inside the crater, and it is full of flamingos, full of many species of water beds, and also hippos as well. Plus, you can see huge animals walking around the lake as well. In the Ngorongoro crater, it is also a place, that you can have a huge chance to see the black rhinos, and we have a huge population of black rhinos in the crater. And they won't give us the exact number, but we think it's pretty much around 46 to 55 rhinos in the crater. All right. And so since we're driving in the crater for the full day, we have the Serena Hotel that will actually prepare a proper lunch for us. Okay, there are a few picnic spots in the floor of the crater where everybody would go for picnics. And since the crater is such a small place, these picnic areas can be crowded and jammed with land cruisers. So NADHAB pays for private picnic areas, and we have the Serena Hotel that very happy to actually set these beautiful settings with all the different fruits and uh, uh, barbecue, and you will actually enjoy this right inside the Ngorongoro crater. All right, and it's amazing. Okay, and pretty much that's the end of the trip in the crater, and you go back to the plantation lodge for overnight, and the next morning you will be driving back to Arusha for a farewell lunch and say the goodbyes to everyone. And again, your expedition leader and I will assist you with all the transfers back to Kilimanjaro International Airport. So because so many flights arrives at night on the very first day when you're coming to the trip, and you might not be able to see Kilimanjaro mountain coming in because it is dark. Driving back to the airport, there is a huge chance that you might have a beautiful view of Mount Kilimanjaro, and that will be goodbye. The lady will be out there to say farewell. And in Tanzania, we actually do not say goodbye, we say until we meet again. And thank you.
Wow, Promise. That was so detailed. That was incredible. Everybody, since I know we are well over time, we will not have much time for Q&A, but that is okay. If you're looking to book this trip or you have any booking questions, please reach out to the adventure specialist team. And then if you are booked on this trip and have some pre-trip questions, our amazing concierge team will be more than happy to help. But Promise, I do have one question that keeps getting asked over and over again that I would love to ask you before logging off today. And can you please explain how laundry works and which camps have laundry and just that whole process? That would be great.
Fantastic, hey Brock. So At Serengeti East Camp, we do have the laundry service, and also in our natural habitat migration camp, we also have laundry service. So basically, we don't have the machines for washing. It is all hand wash and sun dry. So if you put your laundry, let's say at night, you should be sure to receive it the next day in the evening. And this will so much depend on the weather. So if you have nice sun day, so you know your clothes will get dry very quick. But if there is overcast and clouds and it is raining, you know it will stay in the laundry longer. So at the plantation lodge, they also do have the laundry service, but that will have to come out of your bill. Okay, so laundry service are inclusive in our natural habitat camps and only in plantation lodge that you will have to actually pay it yourself. So most of the time, I will actually advise to my travelers if they have any laundries to actually put it out on the very first day when we arrive at natural habitat migration camp. By the time we leave, at least you have less and less clothes that are dirty that you will need to carry them around for the rest of the trip.
Well, fantastic promise. This was such a great destination, great presentation. And just like we said before we hopped on, I am dying to go back. So I'm so excited for everybody who is booked on this trip. You are going to have an amazing time, and Promise and the whole team will be there waiting for you. But awesome. Again, Promise, thank you for taking the time to present to us today. And I would like to thank everybody who tuned in. Join us tomorrow for our next daily dose of nature. You can check out this week's lineup, including registration links on our website at nathab.com/webinars. We did record today's presentation and we will have the replay available on our website soon. With that, I will conclude the webinar. Goodbye, everybody.